And microphone should work.
All right, let's call this meeting to order. A roll call, please.
Jay.
Here.
Penny.
Here.
Wendy. Cole.
Here.
Sarah. Christy.
Here.
Al.
Here.
Jan.
Here.
John.
Test. Yeah, there you go.
Do we have a quorum?
That was me, sorry.
Ooh, what's that all about?
My computer made a noise.
The agenda has been provided. Are there any additions or corrections to it? Hearing none, do I hear motions to approve?
I so move.
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded that the agenda be approved as presented. Discussion on the motion. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Approval of the minutes from the previous meeting. They too were provided in a packet. Any additions or corrections? Hearing none, I'm looking for a motion.
Motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded that the minutes be approved as presented. Discussion on the motion. Hearing none, I assume you're all ready to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. 4th of July hours. Talk to us about that.
All right. So 4th of July this year falls on a Saturday. So since it falls on a Saturday, all full-time employees get to observe 4th of July on Friday. So because of that, we will have 0 full-time drivers available on Friday to provide services. We would like to have the office closed on Friday and not provide transit services on Friday or Saturday due to staffing.
Okay, no, so noted.
We would need approval for that.
Okay. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion that
I'll
Friday
second.
is
Second.
Moved and seconded that the proposal for the Friday, July 4th holiday for full-time employees be approved and that there be no services on Friday and Saturday, the 4th of July. Discussion. Hearing none, I assume you're ready to vote. All in favor?
aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. DOT follow-up. We had a report on that the last time we met when we only had an executive session. I have looked over mine. I see some people have theirs today. Can you give us a little follow-up on what's in there?
So in your packet, you will find our 5311 and 5310 compliance and good practices follow-up report and findings from the audit and check they did an inspection on us, and it went really well. They only found a couple of things. The first thing they found was they said on the satisfactory continuing control, it said that is our equipment permanently tagged or stamped or tracked in the database with identification numbers. They said no equipment was tagged, which was not true because I followed up on that. And they said after review of notes and conversations with the procurement specialist, it was determined that this was not a finding. So that was all good because we did show them that. The next one was, is there a current and complete inventory of all equipment? They said there was no equipment list at the time, which, again, they said after review of notes and conversation with procurement specialists, it was determined this was not a finding. So those two things that were originally findings were not. Those were all taken away. For procurement, the finding was we didn't have the procurement updated for our fuel, and that has been updated and submitted, and we're good with that. And the cameras, we got that. That's all good, and there's no findings on that. The workstations, that was good. There's no findings on that. There's no findings in debarment or suspension. No findings in lobbying. No finding in DBEs. No finding in personnel. No findings in EEOs. For operations and provisions, there's no finding in service provisions. No findings in intercity bus. In maintenance, there were a couple findings. The vehicle maintenance having a maintenance program in place for our lifts. We have updated that, and that will be coming up in the next couple. The next bullet point will be number 7. We'll cover that,
Okay.
and then the drive-through window. We got that taken care of, and preventative maintenance and asset maintenance. So that will be in bullet point number 8 when we get to that on our agenda. So those have been provided and accepted by the state as long as they are approved by you today at the meeting. And then safety and security, ADA, drug and alcohol, charter bus, school bus, service eligibility, non-discrimination, delivery of service, public involvement, marketing, planning and coordination. There were no findings in that. Facility and equipment follow-up. All the drivers were notified. They went around the bus garage and they found wheelchair securements left in the vehicle while it was parked in the garage, and another bus had an expired first aid kit. We got both of those resolved. We have a monthly training, so I went through that training with all the drivers. I am inspecting every bus to make sure that wheelchair securements are not left in the floor. They're taken up after every single wheelchair passenger that we transport, so we don't have that issue. And the first aid kit has been updated. And then the DOT ride-along, they said it went great, except for, again, they left the wheelchair securements in the floor. And we took care of that during our monthly training, and they are all being instructed on that. Submitted documents, everything was good with everything we submitted. Our vehicle maintenance programs, everything turned out great. So basically, this is just your report saying that we completed the inspection, the audit, and everything has been approved, and we are in compliance with the state now.
Good. You know, I thought that was kind of funny when they were talking about the fuel stuff. Come on, guys, don't you think that we go by the city bid?
So, but we have to provide, because it's procurement, we have to provide all the procurement paperwork that we do. So we had to get that from Pam at the street shop. She provides all that information, and it's all documented on city council because they have to be provided through city council. So we just had to put that documentation together and submit that to them.
Yeah, I mean, come on, guys. You bury yourself in paper because what? I don't know, but that's all right.
And they did say that Wanda in our office does such a good job with procurements. They said they actually want her to train the other transit agencies on how she does her procurements because it's so well organized and put together, and we're following all the steps right now. So we got a big kudos on how our procurements are being done.
All right, anyway, that's just my comments. Anything else on this? Do we need to take any action or?
Nope.
Nope, I didn't think so. Let's talk about the maintenance program.
So because that was a finding, we needed to update our transit maintenance program. In your packet, you'll find our in-house information for maintenance and our vehicle inspection and maintenance intervals and our forms that we turn in. So this is our vehicle maintenance program, and this would need to be approved. This is what we sent to the state. State says this is all good. This will put us in compliance as long as it's approved by our advisory council.
Goes back to the golden rule. If you want to get their gold, you follow their rule. Anything we would need to do there too?
We would need approval for this.
Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion for approval.
And a second is right here.
I'll second it.
Is there discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I assume you're ready to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. Maintenance plan.
So also, which was a finding in our DOT report, was we needed to update our asset maintenance plan. And that is in the packet. You can see the last time, my computer froze. The last time it was approved, oh my goodness, was in 2020. So we had a few updates they had us put in there. I believe they were highlighted. Okay, the changes were not highlighted, I don't think, in this version. But this is what the state approved in order for us to be in compliance, and part of it was making sure that we are making sure our assets are properly maintained, that we're doing the oil changes, we're doing the intervals and all that.
Do we need an action?
We would need to approve this updated vehicle asset maintenance plan.
Okay. I'm looking for a motion.
I so move.
Second.
Moved and seconded that they be approved. Discussion on the motion? Hearing none. So we ready to vote? All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Palace Transit 2025 Coordination Plan Update.
The state did a statewide coordination plan for transit, and we have to update it yearly with our information and making sure that we are following the coordination plan and we're doing making coordination efforts. In this is what we submitted to the state. The first part of the plan, I found errors that this company they hired to do this coordination plan, they had errors in their report. So I put that in the beginning so that way they knew the information was incorrect, such as the taxi and shuttle provisions. The online research that the company did was incorrect. There is no taxi. There's no easy ride or speedy taxi, as I pointed. The first bullet point they put in for Palace Transit should actually be People's Transit out in Huron, because we don't have the state fair in Mitchell. It's in Huron. And then just a typo for, it was on page 4-20. It was Davison, not David. They put the D in there. So we found those errors. We included that in the report. We talked about the different goals that we completed from this past year. A huge one was getting the new software and having an app, and having the app for people to utilize. The app has been a huge bonus for our transportation program. It's very similar to what Uber and Lyft use. When you schedule your ride on the app, you'll be able to see when your bus is arriving. It'll ding at you. You can look at your schedule of the rides that you have. You can schedule your rides on the app. You can cancel your rides on the app. You can't change your rides. You have to call the office for that, but you can do all your scheduling and seeing what your rides are. We talked about the software and how it allows for same-day services and will calls. The software allows for vehicle specifications, including accessibility features to be entered in the system. So if a person has a wheelchair or needs the lift, that's allowed to be put into the system. So that way the proper vehicle gets sent to the passenger. So if you have a wheelchair passenger, a minivan's not going to go pick them up. So it's nice that we can put those specifications in. We expanded our reservation services, again, because of the new software and because of the app. We are able to take reservations by 5 o'clock now. It was previously 4 o'clock, so we can do that longer than what it used to be. And then also you can schedule on the app up to 8 p.m., which was something that wasn't available before. We expanded our services. We added the same-day weekend rides, which we didn't have before, but those rides can only be scheduled in the app. We have now regional connectivity. Because the last meeting we talked about being a ticketing station with Jefferson Lines. That's increased our regional connectivity needs. It's been a great partnership working with them. We've coordinated our marketing with Jefferson Lines to promote this partnership. They've provided lots of marketing material that they put out and then we put out. We provide better connections to key designations because of the software. We no longer have designated shopping times. Before we used to say you can only go to Walmart, Coborn's, or County Fair at a certain time. Now with the software continually optimizing, we don't have specific shopping times. So it's allowed for our passengers to have more flexibility with their own schedules, which has been great. Outreach, we participated in the community job drive-through. And currently, Palace Transit is fully staffed. We're super excited. We have a couple of part-timers that just got signed up, so we'll get them going with their CDL, so it'll be exciting. We added vans back into our service, which was a huge asset. It's amazing how many rides these minivans have been providing, and it's taken a huge stress off of our buses And now our buses are able to transport more of our non-ambulatory passengers, our wheelchair walkers, because the vans are taking the bulk of our ambulatory passengers. So that's been a huge way to open up accessibility for our community, as well as increase our ridership with that. And we can do it at a lower rate as well, because since they're non-CDL drivers, they're paid at a lower rate. So that's saved money for our organization as well.
Good.
Goals that we did not complete. We did not improve or expand services for our shift hours. We have the people that work shift work. They have they work 10-hour shifts, and the nighttime shifts we're not able to accommodate, and that's due to lack of funding. We just don't have the funding to expand our operations. We did meet with Dakota Wesleyan and Mitchell Tech and the Chamber to discuss the possibility of expanding operations. But again, the cost is what's kind of holding us back for that. I'm working with them, seeing if it would be something that the schools would be interested in paying for. But there really hasn't been much of a need for the schools as of yet to pay for this. New buses. We were not able to procure the buses this last year, but the grant funding was extended and approved by council, so that's great, and we will get our new buses in 2026. So real soon.
Finally.
Yes.
Yeah, the software that you got a while back must be working much better now.
Yes. The community has adapted. It's been a year.
Yeah.
It takes a year to adapt, and I think the community is fully adapted to it now, which is
Okay,
great.
good.
The changes were rough at first because change is always hard. But I think overall, what do you guys think with your clientele? Are they liking the app and the new software?
It does work good. Most of my people, a lot of big patients still have to use the call-ins because of Medicaid. You can't
Right.
do Medicaid on the app. Does the school rides work the same? I just thought up on my head because I've been doing that recently. Like if the schools help,
If
pay
the
for
school
it,
contract
then
is-
it has to be called into,
Call in the
right?
office, yep. But they can
Yeah.
still see it to their rides on
Yes.
the app.
Yeah,
They
they
just
can-
can't schedule on
Yeah.
the app.
Oh yeah. I've had a lot of good luck with that. Yeah. Even I have a student that uses the bus and has used them for like probably about 3 years now, going to the rec center, and he's able to use it on his app, so he knows when they're coming and stuff. So that's been great.
Good.
It's been nice.
Good.
Goals that are provided that were unallowable. One of them, they told us in the plan that we should go to high school career fairs to recruit employees. Well, that doesn't do any good because you have to be 21 to drive a bus. So we're unable to recruit bus drivers when they're 17, 18, and
One
most
the
of our college
things
students
when
are
we
that.
went to that meeting at the library,
Yeah.
they had talked about that too as being just a place so that kids that aren't going like to colleges and stuff might be willing to do the bus, but they don't know it's an option. But at least if you got into the high school careers, then they would know that, okay, when I turn 21, this would be an option for me. I think it's kind of just an FYI what they had kind of talked about in that meeting. I don't know if it'd be beneficial or not, but
Well, they didn't put that in the
thing.
plan, so that's why I'm
Okay.
like, well, that
Yep.
doesn't make sense.
that's what they had talked about, I know, at one of the meetings as to why,
Another
Why
thing
else
was
would-
implementation of a flat fee for payment options. We said that's not really an option because it'd be really costly and would create direct competition with our private bus companies if we do a flat fee, and we can't be in competition with private enterprise. So that'd be against federal regulations. Some new goals that we're working on is working with the food pantry. They came in and talked to us. Hopefully expanding our hours of operation. We'll continue to work on that and maybe find some funding for that. Improve public information on how to use the transit services. We're working with the chamber. We're hoping to do a Ride with Cornelius marketing plan. Have Cornelius or Cornelia get on the bus and maybe do some Facebook Live or Facebook events with that and get information out about our services. We're getting caught up with our fares owed. That's something that the software has been allowing us to better track, which has been really nice because we have a lot of people that are behind on their fares owed. Continuing contracts with coordination with other services, continuing support with our capital needs and expanding our buses, and develop additional partnerships to identify new funding opportunities. Continue to work with the Chamber and the South Dakota Area Community Foundation, see if there's some way that we can maybe get the funding we need to expand our services. Changes in coordination with other agencies. There are no taxis available. Easy Ride and Speedy are no longer a business. There is no Lyft or Uber available, but Lyft It says Lyft has not had operations in this area since 2021. I just found out last week that a person is now finally doing Lyft on her own terms when she wants. So it's at night usually, here and there. So there is Lyft again, and we are a ticketing agency for Jefferson Lines. So that is our updated coordination plan update. Do you have any questions?
And we'll need approval.
Nope, we're good. We don't need any approval. Just wanted to.
But yeah, you tell me that ticketing, you are an agency for ticketing for Jefferson Lines, but you have to get yourself to the bus.
Correct. And we do actually transport a lot of people from
To the
with
bus.
our vehicles to the bus.
To the bus.
Yep.
Okay.
Where is the pickup place again?
Cubbies on Burr.
Cubbies?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, it's not at that old gas station anymore.
It used to be at M&H,
Yeah.
and now it's at Cubbies.
Okay.
They had lots of different places. They were at a hotel too for a while.
Yeah, they were.
First
That's
30.
right. They were. Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that's a convenience for the Jefferson Lines folks, because now they don't have to go down through a bunch of traffic and pick up something, and
Right.
they can fuel, or if they need to, and out of down the back to the interstate. So approval?
Nope, we're good.
Okay, let's go on to the next one then.
Okay, so handed out to you is the 2024 Transit Statistical Report that gets presented to us every year. It's provided by the South Dakota Department of Transportation, and I just want to make sure that you all had a copy of it.
I noticed on that you have a lot of youth. You have more youth. Are they children that go to school, or are they?
Yep, most of them go to school, preschool, daycare. We have a lot of preschoolers that ride to and from daycare to preschool and back during the summer, going to all their activities and events. I like seeing our workforce numbers. It's a lot that go for employment. And we do have quite a few companies that will actually buy tokens for their employees. So that
Oh,
way they
really?
can make sure their employees get to and from work.
Huh.
All right. Airport. This could be interesting to talk about, huh?
So currently, we've had it that we provide transportation to the Sioux Falls Regional Airport. I believe it was $150 for one-way trip. But we haven't provided that service in a very long time. We haven't had much for request. And it says that you have to provide us 2 weeks in advance, and then we have to try to find an employee if it fits within our schedule. Well, now with this coordination plan that we work on, that we have with the state that was statewide, they would like us to coordinate and partner with other agencies. We already coordinate with the Jefferson Lines to bring people to Sioux Falls, as well as People's Transit out of Huron and River Cities Transit out of Pierre. They both come through Mitchell and go to Sioux Falls, and they provide transportation for our community for those reasons. So I would like to make a recommendation to no longer provide the airport transportation to Sioux Falls, since we are coordinating with other agencies and we simply just don't have enough vehicles or staff to provide that. I mean, it's a 3-hour commitment to put a vehicle and a staff member out for 3 hours for maybe one person. It just makes more sense to coordinate with our other agencies.
Do the other agencies do them like at different times, or do they only do like their like People's Transit? I mean, like I know for medical appointments you have to go between 9 and 1,
Yep, they do it within their scheduled time, I believe.
even if your plane is like early in the morning.
You would probably have to ride.
I've never had anybody ask about it, so it's not really a big deal. I'm just kind of questioning it in my head.
You probably have to ride up the night before then, maybe, and
I suppose stay
stay.
overnight.
And Jefferson Lines comes through. And Jefferson Lines is actually very reasonable to ride to Sioux Falls. I think it's only $50, and you can get a Lyft or an Uber from there to get to, or get on their public transportation to the airport.
If you're not
Will they
using it
go
anyway.
Planes fly at odd times.
Yes, they do.
So they would go at 4 or 5 in the morning, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in the morning.
No, you would probably have to go the night before and stay the night.
Okay.
We wouldn't do that either
Yeah.
because we don't operate at those times either.
Other questions or comments? Staffing.
We would need approval to
Oh, okay.
remove that service.
I make a motion.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded. Discussion. Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Both same sign. Carried. Staffing. Let's go to staffing.
All right. So in our office, Jordan, our transportation supervisor, has been deployed. He is now overseas in Germany. So in the meantime, we have one of our part-time bus drivers who has stepped up and is now working in our office, Paul Morris. He is our retired fire chief. He is now back into doing office work, and he has been a wonderful asset to have filling in the meantime while Jordan is being deployed. It's a temporary position until Jordan gets back. We had Shirley in our office, which was a great asset as well. She was trilingual. Unfortunately, she is moving to Oregon and has left our office, but we do have a replacement for her. We have Robin, who will be starting next week.
So the language will be an issue again.
Yes.
So you'll get to talk to me more again.
It was so handy. It was
It was. I had a
wonderful.
patient that used her services.
It was
Yeah,
a
so-
wonderful addition having. And
All right. That's under control for you guys.
Yes, we're staffed. Yay.
All right. Nutrition contract. This could be interesting.
Well, provided in your packet is the nutrition contract that was submitted by the Department of Human Services, LTSS, and this is what we were awarded for this current operating fiscal year for our nutrition program. That we have to follow all the new rules and restrictions and provisions, the new provisions. And within that, this is our approved amount for the current fiscal year, and we were notified that there will be no amendments allowed like we've had in the past. So if we serve over the meals that were previously, if we serve over this dollar amount, they won't do any amendments for additional funding. This is all we get for funding this year. They also had in the provisions, the biggest change that affects most of our clientele is you can only do 10 meals per month. And it doesn't matter if it's your frozen meals, your dine card, your meals at the community center. It's 10 meals total of all of our programs. And we also have several participants who come from other service agencies, and it's a little difficult to track, but Amy's doing a great job trying. They'll eat at, say they'll go to DeSmit and have a meal there. Well, that's in the ICAP service area. And then they'll come here and have a meal. Well, we don't know how many meals that they're eating at these other service areas until the end of the month when it's in the system. So
It's 10 meals per month?
per week.
Per week. Okay.
Week.
I was like, that doesn't
Right.
work. Okay.
So we don't
Okay,
know if
there's-
this person who ate 7 meals in DeSmit, and they come and buy 10 frozen meals from us.
Yeah.
We don't know.
A dine card 2 or 3
And then go, yep, get a dine card and go to Coburn's and eat
Oh
3
my
meals.
God, what a mess.
It's,
Has it been an issue or why?
with
why
some.
yes.
The ideas behind the changes or?
It was the provisions that the Department of Human Services came up with because of their funding.
And they said it was abused in some other areas, other town, other areas of the state.
How's our Hutchinson County folks doing? You were working on that at one time, weren't you?
We're following as best as we can, and
Okay.
we'll find out more towards the end of the fiscal year where we're at on dollar amounts, but
So what do you do if they've been eating at another place and you don't find out till the end of the month?
we don't get funding for those extra meals.
Oh,
They don't get paid.
Yeah.
So
And
you
I think
take it
if I
out of your
remember right,
surplus.
when we talked about this the last time that when we had to do the price raise, I think our city council representative warned us that don't come back. So that could be a real big issue down the line, I'm afraid. That's just me.
It's more or less, that's not as much of a problem as it is the 10 meals. That's where we're nervous. And if we don't have the funding, then do we just stop serving meals? Or do we do a big fundraiser and have the community help? Or what I will be doing is I will be talking to our legislators and our appropriators during this legislative session to see if we can get funding for, again, get our $3 million back that was sent to general fund, get it back applied to.
Good thing we
You need
got good
people.
staff to keep track of that stuff for us, guys.
I actually met with the Lions, and Paul Muskimmons was there. He goes, just to let you know, I can't even go to my granddaughter's softball game without Jessica there talking about this nutrition program and what we need for funding. So I do try to stay on top of our legislators, talk about our funding that we need for this. It's very important.
is,
Okay.
would it be helpful if we contacted legislatures as well, or?
It doesn't hurt.
Yeah, so if you could do a boilerplate of
Mhm.
what to say, I'd be happy to
Yeah.
contact them.
Absolutely. It doesn't hurt to contact your legislators and push for funding for our adult nutrition program.
We've had clients contact.
Yeah, we've had clients contact the state and our legislators, and
All right. On to the next item, unless you need something from us there.
Nope.
Let's go.
okay, our snowflake program is back on our windows, and snowflakes are slowly falling. We don't have an attachment for that, do we?
I don't remember.
I'll let Amy give an update on what we've had so far for.
So what we set a goal for $10,380 this year. Last year we did do $10,700 this year. Last year we did 10,380. Estimated about 107 names. Our prices have gone up, for the meals, so that puts that cost up more. We've done probably about, I didn't write that down, but we've probably got a couple thousand so far. So we have, with the SNAP issue, with the government shutdown and different things right now, we have a lot of people that are in need desperately. So we've been trying to encourage anybody that can, donate any amount. We have a lot of clients that are in need.
And the newspaper came and did a Facebook event with me, and we talked about the snowflake program and the funding for that. So we're hopeful that got the word out as well. I asked Amy if she wanted to do it, and she was no.
I don't do that.
And trust me, the meals are good,
They are.
if you didn't know that. So, open meeting laws.
Okay, so in your packet is the open meeting laws that was provided to City Council. So just to let you know that we are an advisory board only. We're not a board, so we're just advisory. So we technically don't need to follow this information, but because we are a city and because we provide community services, we do follow all these rules. But we just wanted to provide the information for you if there's any questions or answers. But this was the training that was provided to City Council. You can listen to Justin's presentation on the City Council meeting, which is also on YouTube.
And that's been around for,
Ages.
yes,
And there's his
So,
presentation that
it's
was on.
not new. They tweak it, the legislature decides to tweak it every once in a while, but it's not a new addictive, so. Citizen input. I don't see anybody there to talk to us. This board can also provide 2 cents worth if you want to. I think our staff does a pretty good job of keeping us informed and we need to make sure that the public is informed as well. Let's go on to the next one, department reports.
So in the packet, you have your Palace Transit ridership reports that breaks everything down with your elderly and your general public and handicap and youth, and as well as the trip purposes. And you have them in here for August, September, and October ridership in there.
Anything you need from us?
No.
Let's go on to the next one then, if there's no more questions.
Then you got your nutrition reports. You got September and October included in that. September would have been the end of our fiscal year. So you can see where we ended up for our fiscal year compared to our projections and where we were compared to last year. And that fiscal year was 16 months, so that was an extra long fiscal year. And then October, that's included. That would be the first month of our fiscal year. And this one will be our October through September, so it'll be a regular 12-month fiscal year. And you can kind of see what our projections are for this fiscal year. We projected 44,040 meals. So that's what we need to stay at and not go over, otherwise we won't have the funding.
Need anything from us, or should we go on?
Just reports. Then we got, just included in your packet is the Mitchell Volunteer Program, just kind of some of the things that volunteers still do. We get random calls, like yesterday, I had a call yesterday morning, any possibility for volunteers this afternoon, which was yesterday afternoon. Amazingly, I did get some, but you just get them random calls, so.
The community center activities.
So in your packet is October's and November's activities that we have. December's just went out. We have lots of different activities that Betty has lined up and done. A big shout out to, we had Orthopedic Institute come and do a presentation, Wednesday wellness presentation, and they did a lunch and learn about hip surgery and that kind of stuff. And we had great turnout, and they provided a free meal to everybody who came and listened to their presentation. That was a great partnership, and they are hoping to plan on doing that again. We're excited about that. We also sent out the new membership registration forms and quilt raffle tickets to all of our current members. So hopefully everybody gets their memberships renewed and purchases some quilt raffle tickets. So it's a beautiful quilt that our quilting ladies did again this year. And we have our big After the Holidays party coming up in January.
You know, I'm just going to mention this too. Our fiscal year begins October 1st. That's because much of our funding comes from the federal government, and that's when their fiscal year starts too.
So our fiscal
That's why
years
it is.
for transit and adult nutrition now follow the federal, which is October 1st.
Yep.
But the community center and the volunteer program follow the city fiscal year, which
Yep.
will be January 1st.
Yep. So that's where the the kink is. Anything else? Well, let's talk about the next meeting. Regular schedule?
I don't know if we're skipping. We're doing January or we doing...
So it's totally up to you if you'd like to do the January meeting, or we can wait till March. It's, again, totally up to you. We probably won't have much for the January meeting since we put everything in on this meeting. By March, I can give you updates on legislation that's going through. And
Let's wait till March.
okay, so I'm going to make another change though, because
Pardon?
March 12th is when we would usually have it.
Yeah.
But I will be gone that day. So can we move it up a week to March 5th?
Sure.
Let's plan on March 6th then.
5.
5, excuse me.
Is this room available?
It should be.
Discussion?
It's up there, but
Hearing
it'll be
none?
the first Thursday.
Yeah, the first Thursday, the 5th.
Anything else that has to come before this body at this time?
You said if you do a boilerplate or something, contact the legislature.
Yep, I'll send that to have Amy send that out.
If not, it's the chairman's prerogative to adjourn the meeting because the next meeting date is set. So we are adjourned.